Alright, I got it. I got proof that there's a dumbing down of technical manuals. Here's the proof. Here's the 1976 edition for the MEP 15 and the MEP 25 in 1976. Here's a technical manual for the MEP 15 and the MEP 25 in 1986, 10 years later. So you think this is a revision of this, but look at the thickness of these manuals. See that? The older one is thicker. So what are they leaving out? Well, the old one is full of handy-dandy real photographs, line diagrams, and of particular interest is wiring schematics. Right? So you know what you're dealing with, okay? I also noticed in the back that gal is a little bit different too. So if you look at the new one, the newer one, 10 years later, it's super thin. They got a few line diagrams. But no real photos and no wiring schematics. And if you look at the gal in the back, well, this is an upgrade. They teach you about the metric system and the conversion. That's to get on the NATO standard that was coming down the pipes. In the back there isn't that of this older manual. But the older manual, the one from 1976, gives you all kinds of death and damage warnings in the front cover. The new one, the newer one, there's nothing. It's like they don't care about your death apparently anymore. So that's interesting, but they do care that you get on the NATO standard. What else is emphasized? Oh, I'll show you that gal. That's what she looks like in 86. And that's what she looks like in 76. So you see how the little revisions and stuff come through. But I'm saying, I was shocked. You assume a later manual would have more information and useful things. Well, it's not the case. You would think the military would not have the same problems that you find in a lot of civilian editions. So when you get a piece of equipment, and after you've seen this video, you know, consider looking at some of the earlier editions. You might find information that they're leaving out. And just because you get the latest manual doesn't mean you have the information you're looking for. Because apparently, stuff gets taken out. And you go from a thick manual to a thin manual. And the coolest thing in the old manual that I saw, I'll point this out real quick. Was they actually made a little hut out of sandbags. See that? That's how you keep your generator. In this case, it's a generator for making electricity. That's how you keep it safe in the field and operable, so you can work on it, and it's sort of because you need your electricity to run your electronics and stuff. That's how you would do it, and that way it still gets air, so you're not killing yourself with the exhaust gases, and you can still access it, but it's still protected from like mortars and things like that. There's nothing like that in here at all. No wonder people are going to sleep. It's like dry and tired. This one's like vibrant with, it seems like this one is closer to reality. And this one over here is more like administrative stuff. It's so boring and doesn't really make me want to read it. This one makes me want to read it. This one makes me want to fall asleep. So I think, especially military manuals and technical manuals and things like that, they should have more illustrations, more comic book-like things and examples and stuff, and not this dry stuff. Of course, now they're going to digital publications, and they're going away from all the paper. So, but yeah, I found out, or I found where to get an old, this is just some random stuff. Okay. Found out where to get an old operator's manual thing. And it's new old stock, and then you keep your manuals in there. That's another thing I have. You can put several manuals in this binding and keep them protected. That's some heavy duty stuff, and it locks in, and so I keep them all in here. I keep the new and the old manuals because maybe there is something new and important that's not in the old one, like maybe some different operations and things that that they found out. So there might be new information. But that's the thing. I mean, is it really a revision if you leave information out and add new information? It's like a whole new book. So it'd be nice if you weren't getting. I mean, literally, if you want to know how to make a generator bunker with sandbags, the new manual, you wouldn't even know that was around. The technology has been erased. How to do that. So hopefully this will start a whole chain of inquiry about your manuals and things. This is new old stock. I never even saw one of these books except in like these binders. The Navy had stuff like this on the ship, on the sub, but never saw these for the Army. I bought this new old stock. I got two of them. I keep my manuals in, and it keeps it all convenient. There's actually a black divider thing. There's two of them. I assume one's for the back, one's for the front. But if you put one in the front, it's so stiff you can't even open it up to read. So I don't put it on the front. But yeah, I just thought that was interesting, especially for military surplus collectors and people like that they're looking for. They don't have a supply and support and maintenance and stuff. They got to be their own system, so they got to do it all themselves. So it's important to get as much information as possible. So I just want to put this out there that check your TMs, the editions, and now everything's pretty much digitalized. You can look that up pretty simply, and make sure you're getting all the information, because apparently upwards, with this good example, they're leaving the information out. I don't know, to save money, or they assume soldiers are stupider, or military is getting dumber. I don't know why you would do that. So I'm putting this video out. So check your TMs, make sure you're getting the real information you want. It's Military Industrial Museum, December 2015, and I'm out.